Nation Sports Show. Tomorrow, on March the 12th, the next league season in the National Football League officially begins. Already a day before the next NFL league season starts, shocking blockbuster trades and signings that nobody saw coming have already taken place. The madness in the NFL's offseason is just getting started. Speaking of madness, the single greatest tournament in sports history returns on March the 18th, March Madness. And tonight, we recap the latest action in the NBA and so much more. It's showtime.
Good up to the court, talking all that is sport, breaking down the latest news, scores, and more. Welcome to our Nation Sports Show.
All right, everybody. Welcome to our Nation Sports Show. We are live once again on a beautiful Tuesday evening here. We thank you guys for joining us. I am Ezra Vickery. Of course, we got our usual crew here in some form or fashion, and we'll get to everybody here in just a minute. And what a crazy week in the world of sports it's been, and we're going to get to it here in just a moment. But first, we want to talk to you guys about the ways you can interact with us, and that is, of course, at Owen_Sports Show on the good old X/Twitter, Instagram.com /Our Nation Sports Show, and Instagram.com /Our Nation Sports Show. Don't forget to follow the Nation's Corner at The Nation's Corner on Instagram and on the good old, I believe it is the good old Facebook machine. And you can follow Nation's Corner across all the socials everywhere else. And it's going to be a great show for them this week, of course, leading into a fantastic Monday Night Raw last night. Of course, what's going to take place on Impact this week tonight, NXT Roadblock, Friday Night SmackDown, and TNA Sacrifice, which also takes place this Friday as well. And also to TNA Impact tapings will take place, and Maple Leaf Pro will have its big show as well this weekend. So keep an eye on that. Also, don't forget to follow at Too Sweet Cosplay across all socials for your cosplay and wrestling needs. Of course, that's located in the wonderful city of Chicago. Our next big thing will be our panel we are hosting at C2E2. Of course, it's going to be a WrestleMania discussion panel. Of course, it's going to be April 13th, room S401D in McCormick Place. If you haven't been there, check it out. Go to c2e2.com to get tickets. There are still some 3-day passes left, but they're probably going to sell out because of the addition at the con of Emilio Estevez to the Breakfast Club reunion that's going to take place. So check that out, c2e2.com, for all of your ticketing information. Our panel, once again, April 13th, room S401D in McCormick Place. We're going to be talking WrestleMania, the GCW Collective. We're going to be talking about the biggest events to happen. We're going to give our predictions on the card. Of course, what's already been announced and what is hopefully to be announced. We'll get into all that if you want to join us. And more than likely, either after that or on another day, we'll have our TSC photo shoot. All information incoming, so keep an eye at Too Sweet Cosplay for more information. Joey Thornton will hopefully be joining us towards the end of this show. But with me now is my heavy metal brother from the North Kakalaki, this time in the LXTON, Lexington, Kentucky, where tomorrow night he is going to see the legendary Disturbed along with Seven Dust and the fully reunited 3 Days Grace performing. It is going to be an amazing, amazing, badass show. Like I said, my heavy metal brother here, Big Stevie Cool, Stevie Wyand. What's up, brother?
That's right. I'm on the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. It's going to be an awesome, awesome show here in Louisville, Kentucky tomorrow night with Disturbed playing their debut album. Hard to believe, 25 years of The Sickness in its entirety, plus a second set of greatest hits and more. And normally, I do not skip on bands coming to my area in the state of North Carolina. But this lineup was too good to pass up. I mean, you got Seven Dust opening up, then 3 Days Grace, and then Disturbed coming out there, kicking ass, taking names, all of that good stuff. And looking forward to being here with you today, recapping the wild stories in the NFL. Because, yes, as it has been talked about, not just by us on the show, but by sports media outlets worldwide, the next league season begins on March the 12th tomorrow. And already we have free agent signings out the yin yang, whether it be, players expected to move, not expected to move, trades that have happened. It's been complete madness. And speaking of madness, and we'll get into this next week. And shit, I forgot about that. We're also giving our top 5 games of the year this past year. Damn, I forgot about that. But luckily, I think I got a list already imprinted in my head.
Well, Steven,
Um,
with Joey not being on us for the full show, if not maybe the whole show, I think if we have to, we can always postpone it to next week and then push the other back the
sure,
previous week. That way we can
sure,
make sure we
yeah,
have
absolutely.
everybody on there to do it, you know?
Exactly. If he can't make it, then we'll push back. We'll push that back next week. But yeah, looking forward to being here with you today, my man. And lots of news went down, not just in the NFL, but in the NBA, Major League Baseball, and so much more. So let's do this, man. Oh, oh.
All right, man, let's get into it. Oh, wow. Let's do it. Now I can't talk. I just blew my voice out. See y'all next week. Um, but no. Let's all right. Let's get into this. And that's of course we'll get into the world of Major League Baseball first, and that is the unfortunate news, devastating news for the Yankees, and that is that pitcher extraordinaire Garrett Cole is done for the year. It was announced that he had Tommy John surgery, and that will sideline him for the remainder of this year. So, a huge blow to the Yankees organization and to the team. And this is not just any. Obviously, this is not just any pitcher. This is their ace. This is their star on that team. And to me, losing Garrett is a huge deal. And I don't know how the Yankees are going to recover from that.
Now, I do not know how either because Garrett Cole has been their ace since joining the Yankees, and he, without a doubt, was their best pitcher on this roster. He was the only guy predominantly who could get the Yankees out of big jams, with teams, the runners at the corners and, strikeouts. He could find a way to get that critical strikeout, but the fact that Cole will not be taking the mound this year due to the unfortunate Tommy John surgery. I mean, it's crazy, man. I mean, when you really think about this, I mean, we have seen unfortunate injuries that have happened before the season has even started. And that's kind of a magnum opus, to what could happen with the Yankees because the Yankees went to the World Series last year. And as we all know, in the world of sports, not just in baseball, football, basketball, hockey, you name it. It is hard to win consistently in the world of sports. And who knows if the Yankees will get back to the World Series with the lineup that they have as we know them, with this team as we know them. Because to me, this was their best chance to win the World Series last year. And they screwed the pooch. They absolutely got outplayed and outmanaged. I mean, it's hard to say Dave Roberts outmanages and outperforms the opposite manager, but yet here we are in 2024 into 2025, and The Los Angeles Dodgers, everything for them goes right, goes right. And everything that goes wrong for the Yankees goes wrong for the Yankees. I mean, it is crazy. I mean, to think where this team was last year, and they made this, this big time run to the World Series, on the pitching strengths of Garrett Cole and the terrific hitting of Juan Soto and Aaron Judge up until the World Series was playing really good. And Rizzo was playing great. I mean, just the entire team, was playing lights out baseball. And that game one blunder by Aaron Boone was so bad, taking out Garrett Cole. I believe it was in the 10th inning, or no, the seventh or eighth inning. And then that's when he started putting in the bullpen, and they let him down. And then in game five, Cole, couldn't, he can't do it all by himself. And that's the unfortunate thing about sports is, especially when it's a team sport, because you cannot rely, on yourself to do everything. You're not Superman. You're not a superhero. You're just a human being. And you have to focus on your job. And Garrett Cole was doing that. And Aaron Judge and the rest of that Yankees team let him down in game five to lose a 5-0 lead at the top of the fifth into the bottom of the fifth. And then before you can even blink, the lead was gone just like that. I mean, and then heading into the 25 season, people were touting the Yankees of having a shot at getting back. But now, Ezra, I don't think they will, because they're going to have to search deep within their organization to find a pitcher out there on the market, or they're going to have to trade for somebody, because pretty much every team that is a top contending team in the world of Major League Baseball already has their top aces. With their top ace gone, it is going to be a long, grinding road for the New York Yankees this year in 2025. And what a very unfortunate, injury to happen to one of the greatest pitchers in minor league, Major League Baseball.
Yeah, definitely. This is a huge loss for them, and I don't think they're going to be able to find anybody. I think it's going to be
No.
a long road for.
This is like losing your quarterback. This is like losing your starting point guard or shooting guard or star player. I mean, the Yankees, they still have quality hitters, but you need pitchers. You can't just rely on your bats to crank it up. You got to have pitching. And this is also the Yankees' downfall. Who would have thunk it that Garrett Cole goes out with this horrific injury, and the Yankees' Achilles heel has always been their bullpen, especially last year. Not just in the World Series, but even against the Cleveland Guardians, when the Guardians made games interesting. The bullpen let them down at critical junctures of the games. I mean, in the World Series, it was no exception. And now heading into 2025, you don't even know who the hell your starting pitcher is going to be come opening day.
Hey, Steven.
Yeah.
NFL breaking news.
Oh, yeah?
DeAndre Hopkins is no longer a Chief.
Oh, yeah?
1 year, $5 million, could get up to $6 million with the Baltimore Ravens.
Holy shit. Oh my God. Folks, this is why we love doing these shows live, because of when stuff like this happens. The fact that now DeAndre Hopkins basically called his own number and realized, I'm not having the numbers that I, could have had with Kansas City. He goes to Baltimore. And they have Lamar Jackson. They have Derrick Henry. And now you have DeAndre Hopkins. Dude, insane what this team is going to do.
Yeah. Outside of that, as far as NBA news, I mean,
Wow.
there was a few injury notes, of course. Max Scherzer's still out dealing with some, I believe it was elbow issues,
Yes.
and believe it was somebody else. I forget Stanton. Stanton was dealing with issues in both of his
Now, of
elbows.
course, Giancarlo Stanton was dealing with some issues because, again, Stanton, was also a guy. Here's a guy who also can't stay healthy.
Oh yeah. All right, moving on to the wonderful world of basketball. Let's get into this. Some news just came out 2 hours ago. Jonathan Kuminga is going to be returning to the Golden State Warriors lineup this Thursday against the Sacramento Kings.
This Golden State team is on a roll. And we said it on the show. If Golden State was going to make a run in 2024-25's NBA season, it was going to have to be now. And Golden State has already exceeded expectations with Jimmy Butler's arrival. 12-1 right now, Golden State is, since Jimmy has joined the lineup. And it I will be surprised if the Warriors do not make a deep postseason run the way they're playing right now. Because the way they're playing, out of anybody in the Western Conference, I would not want to play Stephen Curry and play Jimmy gets buckets Butler the way he's playing right now. I mean, this team is shooting lights out as always. And we know Curry's going to Curry's going to do Curry things. And it's just it is absolutely insane like how this magic run that the Warriors are on right now, because there for a while Golden State was really struggling at finding consistency and all of that. And now that they have a true number two who hell can sometimes morph into a number one in Jimmy Butler, is if Steph's having an off night, no problem. You can hand over the keys to Butler, and he'll lead you try to lead you to victory. And that's what they've been doing since he's been there. Win, 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 win.
Yep. Also, too, LeBron James is expected to miss 1 to 2 weeks with a groin strain. James will wait for
James is expected to miss 2 weeks. Oh, the poor old baby.
he strained his groin from yelling at Stephen A. Smith on the sidelines. Let's see what else here. New York Knicks are going to sign PJ Tucker on a 10-day contract.
Ooh.
Yep.
Interesting. That could turn into a decent contract if he does well, because PJ Tucker is a very credible defender. I mean, no matter where he's been, whether it be Miami, Milwaukee, you name it. I mean, he has been a defensive prowess behind, the rim, protecting the rim, and I think he's a good, solid player.
Yeah.
And if he can work things out with with them, I think that he'll end up staying the rest of the season.
Also, too, real quick, here, Jalen Brunson is expected to miss 2 weeks with a right ankle sprain.
Oh, and thank God it's a sprain, because if it would have been torn or he would have broken something, his season would have been done. Because there was wild speculation that his injury could have been worse, and thank God it wasn't, because if he would have been out, there would have went the Knicks' chances right down the toilet, just done.
Yep. Speaking of down the toilet, Dallas Mavericks suffered another injury.
Yes, they did.
Oliver Maxence Prosper, ligament damage in his wrist. He's done. He's going to be done for the year. Also, too, let's see it. Let's see. That's pretty much it on big stories. I mean,
the Cleveland Cavaliers. They could make NBA history tonight. They could be the first team in NBA history to have two 15-plus winning streaks in one season.
you talk about history making news. I just forgot about this. That Steph Curry accepted an administrative role at his alma mater, Davidson College.
Nice.
He becomes the first active player in NBA in pro basketball history to accept a role in a collegiate administrative role while still playing actively. So,
Very nice.
um, Josh Giddey had to depart um with an ankle injury, the same ankle that he hurt in the Olympics in Australia.
Hmm.
And also, too, after a 10-game absence, Rudy Gobert returned to the Timberwolves.
Ooh, interesting.
Yep. Curry is only 2 3-pointers away from 4,000.
Insane how just when you think that his team is regressing, Stephen Curry's offensive efficiency is not regressing. And ever since Butler has came to the team, like I said, 5, 10 minutes ago, that this team has found a flurry of offense that they have caught, this lightning in a bottle, and they're just piping hot right now. And the way they're playing, like it's crazy, and that's also due to the part of Curry. I mean, Curry, he is arguably the greatest 3-point shooter that has ever existed. I mean, he single-handedly changed the the 3-point game in the NBA as we know today in the last 10, 15 years. And I think he's going to reach that goal tonight, or that milestone tonight. I think he's going to hit 4,000 threes tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so too. If he doesn't reach it tonight, I see that's just it's not right. But yeah. So it's pretty obvious Steph's gonna do it. I mean, come on. If he doesn't do it tonight, there's something wrong with the world here. Um, and that's well. Here's another fact. The Lakers. I'm trying to think. Lakers Celtics game drew 4.6 million viewers on NBC.
Wow.
Yep, drew huge numbers. Tonight we got the Wizards taking on the Pistons, Nets taking on the Cavs. We got the Bucks taking on the Pacers, and the Clippers taking on the Pelicans. All games. Check your local listings for more information. And speaking of that Pacers game, Tyrese Halliburton in practice today, in practice on the court just a few minutes ago, was wearing uh I believe it was, let me find it real quick. Something pretty cool. It's a little tie-in for us wrestling fans. Let's see here. Mr. Tyrese Halliburton was wearing Puma All Pro Nitro PE DX shoes.
Interesting.
They were neon, like the parts of it were like a dark, like a grayish kind of reflective with um neon green with like neon green like neon green on the inside, the shoelaces, and I believe it is, trying to make sure, it's the X from DX on the tongue of the shoe.
Sweet.
So yeah, of course he wore those during shoot around, so he'll probably end up getting fined. Triple H replied to it and put, inspired by DX. I hope the fines aren't too crazy at Ty Halliburton 22.
And I'm pretty sure if he gets fined, he's going to tell them to suck it.
And Triple H will probably pay him the money back on it too. Not like Tyrese Halliburton can't afford a couple $1,000 fine for fucking wearing shoes, whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got in the world of the NBA. Let's go ahead and talk a little UFC 313. That I watched that event live. That took place, of course, this past Saturday, live from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. It was a great show. Total 18,869 in attendance, with a gate of over $10 million. Of course, probably because tickets were out the ass. But Fight of the Night bonuses went to Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. And Performance of the Night went to Ignacio Bahamondes versus Mauricio Ruffi. Let's see. Also, too, the main event, Magomed Ankalaev would beat Alex Pereira by a very unlikely and somewhat controversial unanimous decision against the champion Alex Pereira and becoming the new UFC light heavyweight.
Shout outs to Kelly Murphy on Twitter. How Kelly was ranting and raving with one of those idiotic judges that keeps scoring. Thank you. That guy is clueless when it comes to scoring fights. Like
he gave the last 4 rounds to Ankalaev when it should have been either 3 and 5 or would have been 3 rounds to Pereira, in my opinion. I think it should have been 3 rounds to Pereira, 2 to Ankalaev. That's just my opinion.
freaking
And I'm usually
terrible.
right. But
Freaking terrible how like he's clearly there watching the fights. Everybody that is there in attendance is watching the fights. How are you not paying attention, to what's going on in the octagon? Like, hello, do you need to have your brainstems checked? Because
you're asking an MMA judge, how are they not paying attention? That's like asking a deaf man if he's been listening to the show all day. Come on.
That's like that's like telling Tony Khan to come up with a better ending to Revolution.
Oh. I wasn't even gonna go there, but I'm glad somebody went there. That's for a whole other discussion on a whole other show. That's not up for discussion.
Oh,
We got too much to talk about tonight in the world of football that we're gonna get to in just a few minutes. So we'll just say ending terrible, show overall fucking amazing. Bravo to AEW for a great show. Ending could have been better. We're gonna leave it at that.
the unofficial theme song, real quick, to Revolution should have been "Hate Breeds Bound to Violence." Just saying.
Oh yeah, because of the amount of violence. Yeah, but but overall, it was a great night of fights. Couple mainly a lot of unanimous decision fights. Couple good ones. A spinning heel kick by in the opening match. Mauricio Ruffi knocking out Bobby King Green 2 minutes 7 seconds in the first round with a spinning heel kick to the jaw. Laid him out face first. And then in Ignacio Bahamondes beat Jalen Turner with a triangle choke in the first 2 minutes 29 seconds in that round too. So definitely congratulations to everybody who competed. And the next big pay-per-view extravaganza. Let's see, I'm pulling it up now. It takes me a second here because obviously there's all the USP on ESPN fights, but the next big UFC pay-per-view is going to be UFC 314. And it's going to be Alexander Volkanovski taking on Diego Lopez. Michael Chandler is going to be on the card. Bryce Mitchell is going to be on the card. Yair Rodriguez will take on Patricio Pitbull, which is going to be a great fight. Sean Woodson's on here. Dominic Reyes. My boy Darren the Damage Elkins will be in a featherweight battle against Julian Erosa.
Nice.
One of the greatest ever, Jim Miller, is going to be on this card as well, taking on Chase Hooper. That's going to be great fights. And by the way, the Alexander Volkanovski Diego Lopez fight will be for the vacant UFC featherweight championship.
Nice.
So that's going to be one hell of a fight. But yeah. It's because the current champion Ilya Topuria will vacate the title in order to move up to lightweight. So,
interesting.
Yeah. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move over to the wonderful world of, as Pat would say, We're gonna move over to the sport that we all talk about, football. And football
Oh,
is good. Football is good.
real quick before we go to the NFL. Also, congratulations to one of the greatest pound for pound MMA fighters in
Oh
hit.
yes, my boy, ruthless Robbie Lawler, going into the modern wing of the UFC Hall of Fame.
Well deserved.
One of
Well
the one of the most
freaking deserved.
one of the most vicious bad fighters on the planet, dude. When he has no problem throwing bombs, throwing hands, and when he got you hurt, he swarmed you.
Oh yeah.
You reminds
Oh yeah.
he's right up there with Chuck Liddell as one of my favorite fighters because of the viciousness and because of the striking ability. Both guys, and that's something that actually got a like from a guy who is a Golden Gloves boxing champion by the name of Noah the Nomad Bishop Dyer, Mr.
Oh
Baron
yeah.
Corbin. So that was a pretty cool thing. But thank you for reminding me of that. Congratulations to Robbie on that. Great honor. All right. It's that time. Time to talk a little football. And football is great. And I mean, where do we begin? I mean, there's too fucking much.
So much
But
happened.
let's get into the mega deal that happened this week, and that is, of course, Buffalo Bills Josh Allen. Josh Allen originally had 4 years left on his current on the contract he had. Well, the Buffalo Bills made sure that man got his money's worth because they brought him a brand new 6-year contract worth $330 million. $250 million is guaranteed on the spot. And it ties him with the Buffalo Bills until 2031. What man got a big payday, and he definitely deserves it for the play he had this past couple seasons, especially.
Especially last year when his first year as the MVP of the NFL regular season. I
MVP
mean,
payday.
he absolutely 110% deserves every single penny on this contract because the sacrifices that Josh Allen has made to get to where he wants to in his career. Yeah, ultimately he hasn't won a Super Bowl yet, but I think he knows he needs to get there if he wants to be right there with Patrick Mahomes, who's already won 3 Super Bowls in his career. And that's the thing about, players like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. They both asked for their contracts and they both got them eventually. And Josh Allen flat out deserves everything that's coming to him because this guy put the Buffalo Bills on his back last year when this team, when in doubt, when they thought the game was over, Josh Allen, would come up with these ridiculous, incredible plays of just incredible athleticism, whether it be running the ball or finding a tight spot to fit the ball into the right spot for his receiver to catch said pass. I mean, just what an incredible year Josh Allen had last year in 2024. And I think that 2025 is going to be no exception because the Buffalo Bills have also made moves as well in the offseason.
Yeah, definitely. It's I mean, I'm trying to go further back in the timeline here, Mr. Adam Schefter, so we can get a little bit of everything from this past week we could talk about. Because let me tell you, it was a busy, busy week. Let's see here. Starting off with obviously the Bears picking up some major offensive linemen, offensive players to protect Caleb Williams. Of course, we got Jonah Jackson for a 6th-round pick. And now we got Joe Tooney as well from the Chiefs for a 4th-round pick. But then we added more tools to the trade, which we'll get into while going down the news notes here. Sam Hubbard, defensive end for the Cincinnati Bengals, announced his retirement.
Great player. Great player.
Yep. Retired after 7 seasons.
The one play with him that I will always think about is that strip sack fumble recovery and 98-yard touchdown against Baltimore a couple years ago. That was unreal.
Yep. Obviously, there was some signings and releases too. But we'll get into all that here soon. Former Bengals guard Alex Kappa went to the Raiders on a 2-year, 112 or $11.2 million deal.
Speaking of going to the Raiders, Geno Smith has been traded to the Las Vegas Raiders from Seattle.
Yep, he'll be going there, and so he will be joining Max Crosby. Don't forget about him. 3-year, $106 million, $0.5 million deal, including $91.5 million guaranteed, making him the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history at the time.
Keyword, at the time.
How about this one? Eagles re-signing their all-pro linebacker Zach Bond to a brand new 3-year, $51 million contract, $34 million guaranteed at signing, an additional $1.5 million in incentives and escalators. If he's got stairs, why at his house he wouldn't need escalators?
No.
See when you have escalators and elevators in your or escalators and stairs in your house, that could be an up and down situation. I can't believe I just said that. I can't believe. Did I just say that? Did I just say that?
God, man.
Let's not get started on that. NXT hasn't even started yet, and you're already ruining the show for me. This show's ending now. Bye, everybody. No, I'm kidding. Sorry, we get a little off track and try to have fun. That's part of the whole magic of our cruise. So, definitely wanted to have a little fun here. Also, too, also this man could be looking for a new home right now. Damar Hamlin, he's set to be a free agent as of tomorrow, or as of what did you say, tomorrow?
Yep, the 12th.
Yep, tomorrow. Damar Hamlin is set to be a free agent.
There's a lot of teams that could use his services. The Texans could use him. The Ravens could use him. The Chiefs could use him because God only knows the Chiefs need a lot of help in their secondary and their front seven in general because there's a lot of free agents that we haven't even scratched the surface yet on who's going to be free agents, come tomorrow. And we'll break that all down next week when we talk about some more signings that took place. And obviously we're going to be on watch alert for Aaron Rodgers on where he's going to go. Because now we know one quarterback will not be with the Vikings, or excuse me, 2 quarterbacks will not be with the Vikings because Daniel Jones has gone to the Colts and Sam Darnold has been traded to Seattle. And now Seattle has their new quarterback.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, shit.
And it's interesting because, even though Sam Darnold had a pretty solid year with Minnesota last year, those last couple of games, I think, spoke volumes to what Minnesota thought. They said, okay, you're out of here. Pack your shit. Get the hell out of here. We're done. To have some of the most lackluster performances against Detroit and then against the Rams in the playoff game in Glendale when the game had to, or in Phoenix, excuse me, when the game had to be switched to Arizona because of the wildfires at the time in California.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold in that game was sacked 9 times, 2 fumbles, interception. It was a terrible day at the office. Just when you thought his performance against the Lions was putrid, that Rams game was his worst performance of all. And I think that game alone ran him out of town. Because if he would have had a good, consistent, game against Detroit, even in a loss, or a good performance against the Rams, I think he would have been safe. But the fact that he had 2 just hideous performances on his resume this past year with Minnesota. That right there just confirmed that he was out of there, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Some other news, of course, the Joey Bosa getting released by the Chargers after a 9-year stint with the team. Uh, he is projected, of course, to join his brother Nick in San Francisco and having both of the brothers on the 49ers.
And while that's a cool concept and a really cool idea, San Francisco, honestly, I think they are going to suck this upcoming year. I mean, all of the players that have left already,
Sorry, Kevin.
yeah, it's unfortunate. When you're a fan of a team like I am at San Francisco for the past 15, 16 years, you see the ups and the downs of a team on how good they are, how bad they are. And San Francisco right now, the way that they are moving players and letting players' contracts expire and not, resigning them and all this different stuff. I mean, it is just crazy to think that they let Greenlaw walk, and they asked him for 1 year. How can you lowball one of your best defenders on that team just because, Greenlaw didn't even play predominantly all year long last year because of the Achilles injury in the Super Bowl last year against Kansas City. And that's the problem with Kansas City, or not Kansas City, San Francisco, that just drives me crazy as a fan because Kyle Shanahan and the rest of this team are just making boneheaded decisions that I think they're going to regret down the line. Because it's one thing to lose, defenders in Philly. We'll get to Philadelphia in a little bit, but Philadelphia lost 6 defenders so far from their Super Bowl winning team this past year. And that's going to be bad. But Philadelphia, unlike San Francisco, is making credible moves for the most part of getting those key pieces so far. And yeah, Joey Bosa would be a nice acquisition for San Francisco to have joining his brother Nick, to have the Bosa dynamic duo of wrecking offensive lines and offensive players and stuff like that and running backs. And I mean, it would be great, but man, I mean, trading Debo from San Francisco to Washington. There's talks that Brandon Ayuk could be out the door. I mean, there's a lot going on. A lot going on. And I just think that San Francisco they're going to be one of those teams. I will not be surprised. You can flip a coin. I don't care. Them and Seattle are going to be them and Arizona are going to be the two teams that are competing for the bottom of the basement in the NFC West.
Yeah, definitely. The Cowboys restructured Dak Prescott's contract and created $56.6 million in cap space.
Oh, did Jerry Jones finally realize? Oh, guess what, guys? What, Mr. Jones? I signed Dak Prescott to a stupid amount of money, so we had to restructure his contract a little bit just to free up some money so I can go all in.
Oh man, this is worse than you're ranting this bad, dude. This is worse. This is almost as bad as at the end of Revolution when you went off.
Oh, dude.
But yeah, that was nuclear. Anyways, also too, the Browns have restructured the contract of Deshaun Watson too, creating nearly 36 million in cap space.
Should have been more, just saying. 36 million ain't enough. Restructuring this hack. His playing has been regressing for years and years and years. And I don't think it's going to get any better.
No, no. Mitch Morse, who started 17 games last season for the Jaguars, announced his retirement after playing 10 seasons.
Speaking of Jacksonville, what in the hell are you doing? I mean, besides Tony Khan needs a come to Jesus moment with how to book credible endings to a pay-per-view for Christ's sakes, you and your father need to be told what you're doing is wrong with this Jacksonville football team. You have traded away your two best players on offense? Give me a freaking break. What do you think? Trevor Lawrence is the golden goose? What is he, John Moxley? Is he going to lead Jacksonville to the promised land? No. Oh, he is going to lead them all right to the four corners of the basement. Get the fuck out of my sight.
Um,
Terrible. Christian Kirk gone, and Ingram gone. Your star tight end gone. I mean, just insane. How
I mean,
bad.
we're gonna get into a lot of that as I go through the headlines. Vikings safety Theo Jackson agreed to a 2-year contract extension worth almost over 12.6 million, including the first 2 years, guaranteed at signing. So that's good for him. Javon Hargrave will be released tomorrow as well from the Niners. Sam Martin, he got released, but news broke about where he's going to land. And I'm going to get to that here in a few minutes. Trey Hendrickson at the time, this is 5 days ago, was told to seek a trade. Of course, Christian Kirk going to the Houston Texans.
That's a great pickup for Houston.
Yep, get traded for a 2026 seventh round pick. Evan Ingram got released from Jacksonville. Let's see. Moving down. Oh, here we go. Derek Barnes got a 3-year, $25.5 million contract extension to stick around with Detroit.
Very nice.
$16 million guaranteed at signing. The Commanders lost 2-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle Jonathan Allen.
Yep, to Minnesota.
To Minnesota. We'll get to that here in a minute. Some of this stuff I know that we already know this person signed here, so we're going to get to that here in a minute. Levante David is returning to the Bucks on a 1-year, $10 million deal with $9 million of it guaranteed.
Nice.
Yep. As we talked about Geno Smith going to the Raiders, we mentioned that. Let's see here. Also, of course, the big news: Xavier Worthy was arrested on felony domestic violence charges. However, those charges have been dropped, so no pending punishment. I'm going to guess.
I guess so, because that right there would have been leading headlines if those charges would have stood. Because that right there,
headlines, he would have been probably released if he would have spent time in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Former first-round pick Greg Rousseau and the Bills reached an agreement on a 4-year, $80 million deal that includes $54 million of it guaranteed. Let's see. Tight end Mike Gesicki is re-signing with the Bengals on a 3-year, $25.5 million deal.
Not a bad move by Cincinnati. I thought that he had a pretty solid year with Joe Burrow and company last year.
And now for the best signing of this part so far, the Giants re-signed Tommy DeVito.
The greatest signing in the history of sarcasm.
Yes, very much so. Just like when Aaron Rodgers signed with the Steelers and I get to play the go fuck yourself button. If that news broke like in the middle of the show, I have that soundbite ready to go, by the way, just in case. And people, you will know what I'm talking about when it happens. But yeah, Tommy DeVito re-signed. He's now the only quarterback right now for them. I'm not even going to elaborate. Buffalo re-signed its longest tenure player, long snapper Wade Ferguson, on a 4-year contract that ties into Buffalo for 2029. Hollywood Brown is returning to Kansas City on a 1-year, $11 million deal.
Maybe this time he'll last more more games, and he'll play a full season.
Ronnie Stanley of the Ravens got a 3-year, $60 million deal to stick around with Baltimore. Zach Ertz is signing with the Commanders.
Yes, he is.
1 year, $6.25 million with a max value of $9 million. And probably the biggest news for Buffalo, releasing Von Miller. The team is, though, open to bring him back, though. It's just right now it's causing them. It releases $8.4 million against the salary cap. That is the reason why they let him go. But they're open to bring him back if they can work on something better.
Von Miller is a very interesting piece to a team's puzzle because when he is a healthy, key player on the field, he can single-handedly change a game. I mean, look at his entire career on wherever he's been. He has made big-time plays no matter where he's played. And hopefully for Buffalo's sake, they can, restructure, the contracts around the team so they can bring him back. Because if they lose him, that is a key piece on their defense's success.
Oh, absolutely. And you want to talk about sagas, the Aaron Rodgers saga, the Myles Garrett saga is over. Because Myles Garrett is sticking with the Cleveland Browns with a contract that averages $40 million a year. $123 million of it guaranteed money.
Good God.
And a no trade clause. It ties Garrett to the Browns through the 2030 season.
What?
After wanting to be traded. And the
All
NFL
of that for nothing.
Well, it was all ploy between the two. It's like, oh, I don't want to be here. Oh, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. Hey, we're going to make you the highest paid quarterback right now. Okay. If they're going to offer me $123 million over $48 million a year, you bet your ass I'll take back everything I said and go for the money.
Mm-hmm.
If I
That's
never
the
win a
way you do it.
championship, I'd rather live comfortably.
Exactly.
Let's see. As we go down the list, Nick Bolton is re-signing with the Chiefs on a 3-year, $45 million deal, including $30 million of that money guaranteed. The Seahawks re-signed Jaron Reed on a $25 million deal. '49ers released defensive tackle Malik Collins. Aaron Jones is re-signing with the Vikings on a 2-year, $20 million deal that includes $13 million guaranteed.
He deserves it. I mean,
Yes, he does.
the year that he had last year in Minnesota, it was an incredible year last year. I mean, because you lose.
Started all 17 games, rushing for a career high 1,138 yards, adding 408 receiving yards and 7 total touchdowns.
Think about that. You lose. What's his face? Cooks, right?
Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook. Yeah, you lose Dalvin Cook in the offseason, and then there comes Aaron Jones, and Aaron Jones filled that void to a literal T. And they did not lose not one single, stamina with their running game. Like their running game was still just as good, if not better. Because Aaron Jones is not just a home run hitter. He's also a guy who will pound the rock. And he will continue to plug in and fight for extra yardage when he has to. So I say, no matter if you're a Green Bay fan, not a Green Bay fan, if you're a football fan, you should be happy for this guy because he deserves everything. He deserves every single penny that he's getting right now.
Yeah, I agree 100% on that. Jameen Sherwood is returning to the Jets on a 3-year, $45 million deal with $30 million guaranteed. Jets getting back one of their big linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
Devontae Adams, who got released from the Jets last week, along with Aaron Rodgers, signed a 2-year deal with the Los Angeles Rams. $46 million, and 26 of it is guaranteed.
When you think about,
And that comes at a critical time too, because the Rams are getting ready to tomorrow release Cooper Kupp.
ooh, I was just about to say, well, scratch that, because if Cooper Kupp would have been on the same team with Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua would have still been there, man, you would have had a three-headed monster, but now it's
This is
still a
the
two-headed monster.
this is the lineup: Matthew Stafford, running back Kyrie Williams, wide receiver Puka Nacua, wide receiver Devontae Adams, wide receiver Tutu Atwell, and tight end Tyler Higbee.
I find this very interesting. And again, if you're paying attention to these teams that are on the market that are looking for, like, it could be a heavyweight contending team, it could be a non-contending team that's trying to, that's not in the picture yet, but they're trying to contend down the road. If you're paying attention to Cooper Kupp and his, productive years, how do you pass that guy up? But I understand why maybe some teams will pass up on him because, as we all know, he has had a history of injuries.
Yeah,
But we can't deny his talents. Like, his talents are incredible.
no, Cooper Kupp is one of the elite wide receivers in the entire NFL. He's a guy that I've always looked at as one of if he would stay healthy, he could be in the top 5, top 10 wide receivers, if not in that top 5 spectrum in the entire NFL, because he's that damn good. He's that damn good a receiver. Great hands, great speed, tall, athletic, can run down the field, can cut. He's got everything to be, a future Hall of Fame wide receiver. He's just got to stay healthy. That's his Achilles heel. No pun intended.
And
Speaking of,
that's it.
oh,
Oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I was gonna say, speaking of Achilles heel, real quick, want to send out some well wishes to Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods unfortunately found out when he was doing some workouts that he suffered a pull in his Achilles. He found out that the Achilles tendon had ruptured, but luckily he was able to go through
Ooh.
a minimally invasive surgery to get it reattached. So he's probably gonna be out for probably close 9 months to a year. So we definitely want to send our best to Tiger Woods. I know he's been through a lot. He lost his mother, and all that stuff recently, and just it's been a rough go for the guy. So definitely want to send our best to Tiger right now as he's going through something pretty bad. Of course, we mentioned about Josh Allen already. That was probably the biggest story of the week. Probably that is Josh Allen getting heavily paid. But here we go. Right here. DK Metcalf went to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That man got paid.
Yes, I'm about to pull that up. 5-year, $150 million contract. Let's see here. DJ Jones is close to getting a deal with the Broncos, $13 million per year. Oh, did we mention about Justin Fields?
No, we did not, and that's a nice segue. Justin Fields is going to the Jets.
Yes, he is. The former Chicago Bear and Pittsburgh Steeler is on his way to the Jets.
And unfortunately, this is where Justin Fields will suffer a total ass whipping from fellow opposing defensive linemen and linebackers. Because that Jets offensive line is the drizzling shits. Their offensive line is so bad. So bad. And Justin Fields, I can't deny his talents. Justin Fields is an incredible young man at quarterback who is more known for his running game, getting these big plays. And when he has the time, he can make plays with his arm. And man, I feel for this kid because he's going to get eaten alive by offensive or by defensive lines and linebackers from opposing teams because that offensive line for the Jets is just so bad. Like Aaron Rodgers last year had one of his worst statistical seasons when it comes to staying upright. Like he was getting sacked left and right. It almost seemed like 3, 4 games on a weekly basis.
Yeah. The Falcons released Pro Bowl defensive tackle Grady Jarrett. And you know what? And if I remember right, Mr. Grady Jarrett, I'm looking at our sports show chat so I can pull it up. Let's see. He got released by the Falcons yesterday. What does he do in a couple hours? Gets signed by the Bears. 3-year, $43.5 million deal, including $28.5 guaranteed money.
Nice.
I love it. Ryan Poles focusing on that offensive line, getting veteran players to help bolster our offense and protect Caleb Williams. We also got Drew Dahlman on a 3-year, $42 million deal as well. So yeah, they're bolstering up our things. Also, too, want to break this real quick too. This was announced earlier today. It's a wrestling thing, so keep an eye on this real quick. A new name has been added to Bloodsport. Former AEW talent, women's wrestler from, I believe it is Russia, legit Layla Hirsch, will be joining Bloodsport.
Nice. Very
right.
nice.
Absolutely, yep. Right here. This was another big one. J.C. Horn signed a 4-year, $100 million extension, 108 max, including $70 million guaranteed with the Carolina Panthers.
And he was one of the reasons why their defense was pretty solid last year.
Oh, yeah. Also, too, Khalil Mack reached an agreement on a 1-year, fully guaranteed $18 million deal to go to the Chargers. Commanders DT Jonathan Allen visited with the Vikings. Hassan Reddick agreed to terms on a 1-year for $14 million deal, including $12 million guaranteed with the Buccaneers. Jalen Moore, offensive tackle, joined the Chiefs on a 2-year, $30 million deal, including $21.24 million guaranteed, to help out Patrick Mahomes' blind side.
He's going to need it.
No offense, Steven.
He's going to need it.
Let's see here. BJ Hill agreeing for a 3-year, $33 million deal, $16 million guaranteed with the Bengals. Javon Kinlaw will join the Commanders. He is going to be on a 3-year, $45 million, includes $30 million guaranteed. The Rams are re-signing Jimmy G. By the way, NXT is kicking off with Fraxium versus the Hardys for the TNA World Tag Team titles.
Oh my, starting out hot.
Yep. Hardy's back at MSG. So, Dan Moore reached an agreement with the Tennessee Titans. $82 million, 3-year deal, includes $50 million guaranteed. Colton Davis, 3-year, $60 million deal with the New England Patriots. $34.5 million guaranteed. There's a lot, man.
Oh, yeah.
DJ Reed signing with Detroit.
Great pickup by Detroit.
And listen to this, we talked about Seahawks and we mentioned how Geno Smith left. Sam Darnold is joining the Seahawks. 3 years, $110 million, including $55 million guaranteed money.
I'm sorry, but I do not think, even though he had a great year last year, predominantly with Minnesota last year, I don't think he's worth the money that Seattle's paying him. That's just my opinion.
Milton Williams reached an agreement with the Patriots on a 4-year, $104 million deal that includes $63 million guaranteed. Broncos and Talanoa Hufanga agreed to a 3-year contract worth with the $45 million, $20 million guaranteed. Josh Sweat has agreed to a 4-year, $76.4 million, including $41 million guaranteed contract with the Cardinals.
Ooh, great pickup by Arizona.
But that's another player gone from the Eagles.
Mm-hmm. One of 6 defenders.
Let's see here. Texans traded offensive tackle Laramie Tunsil to the Commanders for a package of picks. Ooh. Kenny Pickett got traded to the Cleveland Browns for a 2025 fifth-round pick and quarterback Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
Well, at least Kenny got to kneel the ball in the Super Bowl.
Yep, and he got a Super Bowl ring, so.
Yep, so there's that.
Josh Dobbs has reached an agreement on a 2-year deal with the Patriots. cornerback Charvarius Ward reached an agreement. 3-year, $60 million, including $35 million guaranteed, and a $20 million signing bonus with the Indianapolis Colts.
Ooh.
Let's see. Dalvin Tomlinson, the defensive tackle for the Browns, will be released tomorrow. Our favorite Cougar hunter, Zach Wilson, got a 1-year, $6 million deal. They grew up to $10 million to go to the Cougar capital of the world, Miami.
Zach Wilson, the Cougar hunter of all Cougar hunters.
He's going to be in a place where retirees and Cougars are going to be.
Oh yeah,
He's
here
going to
we
have a lot of
go.
ex-girlfriends. He's going to have more ex-girlfriends and wives than Elder had in his 65 million years on Earth. Oh, Elder's going to hear this and he's going to bitch me out later, but I love you, Elder. You're a good man.
Oh,
Thank you for all your service these past millennia.
Oh, he's gonna bitch you out. Oh, whatever.
Go fuck yourself. Let's see here. Darius Slayton is re-signing a 3-year, $36 million deal with the Giants. Broncos have reached an agreement with Dre Greenlaw.
That is one of the biggest key pieces of that San Francisco defense gone. Just like that. And he got paid.
Yep. Kyle Juszczyk, he's going to be released from the 49ers. He's a 9-time Pro Bowl fullback. Saints are re-signing defensive end Chase Young to a 3-year, $51 million deal. Up to $57 million, it could rise.
Interesting.
Chargers have reached an agreement on a 1-year deal, $9.25 million for Najee Harris.
And this is a move that the Chargers have so desperately needed. A true number 1 running back who you can hand the ball off to when it's 2nd and 1, 3rd and 2, 2nd and 2, you name it. second in inches, third in inches, first in inch, first in goal, from the 1 inch line. I mean, like you need players like a Najee Harris. And I think the Chargers have made a great move to get a credible number one running back.
Oh yeah, 100% agree.
And
It's
that is a loss for Pittsburgh that is going to be with them for a long time.
Don't worry, they got Aaron Rodgers coming. They'll be okay. Sorry, Marks. Sorry, Deb. Um. Oh, here we go. Steelers free agent linebacker Landon Roberts. Recent agreement with the Raiders on a 1-year, $3 million deal. Jonathan Allen has agreed to a 3-year, $6 million contract with the Vikings.
Now, that's a great move by Minnesota.
The Giants made an agreement with Dolphins free agent safety Javon Holland.
Oh, but you look at that. The Giants throw money at any player they see fit, but they're still going to suck.
Former Lions third-round pick, Fatu Melifonwu. If I said that right, I probably butchered the fuck out of it. On Yeah, I look. I'm the only bilingual I know is que pasa and mas tequila.
One shot. Hey.
Yes, I did just pull the Sammy Hagar for telling you. Oh no! All right, continuing on before we lose our place. Elijah Campbell got re-signed to the Dolphins. Their defensive back on a 1-year, $1.5 million deal. Guard Will Freeze is heading to the Vikings for 5 years, $88 million. One of the top interior linemen on the market is now off the board. Houston is acquiring C.J. Gardner-Johnson from the Eagles in exchange for former first-round pick Kenyon Green. Trade includes a pick swap with the Eagles getting a 2026 fifth-round pick and the Texans getting a 2026 sixth-round pick.
And if Houston wants to make their defense legit, this is the guy to get because Philadelphia's secondary was predominantly lethal when it comes to Gardner Johnson because CJ was one of those guys that you could throw the ball any direction and he would find a way to find the ball and pick it off or deflect it and cause the pass to be incomplete. I mean, just how this guy has such incredible vision, for a defensive back, it's insane.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. Daniel Jones signed a 1-year, $14 million deal with the Indianapolis Colts.
Now, that's going to be interesting because now Jones is going to be competing with Anthony Richardson as the starting quarterback for the upcoming season because Richardson, he's had flashes last year where he was good, then he had flashes where he was just seeing stars and getting injured. And Daniel Jones, although he has some talent, but the one thing he is talented at is running away from the ghost of his past.
And I knew you were going to bring that up.
Somebody was going to bring it up.
No Viagra needed. Oh, wait, you're talking about something else. Never mind. You said bring it up. Giggity. Chargers cornerback Christian Fulton has agreed to terms with the Kansas City Chiefs on a 2-year, $20 million deal. That includes $50 million fully guaranteed. 49ers are releasing Leonard Floyd tomorrow.
Another key piece to that defense going bye-bye. I don't know what the hell this team's thinking. Like, they are so delusional right now. This front office is just making some dumb decisions.
The Cowboys and wide receiver Cavante Turpin have agreed to terms on a 3-year deal.
What?
Yeah.
How much?
Those details have not been released.
It
Oh,
better
it makes
not.
Turpin the highest paid special teams player in NFL history.
I'm fixing to say. Okay. If he
Here's
knows his role and does special teams very well, I can see that.
yeah. 2:42 p.m. Eastern time 1 year ago today, Saquon Barkley signed with the Eagles. And the rest is history.
And I believe we were, yes, we were. We were live when we broke that story.
Yep. Also, too, Puka Nacua is going to switch his jersey number from number 17 to number 12. Two reasons why he's going to do that. Number one, 12 is the number he wore at BYU, and it also frees up 17 for Devontae Adams to use once he officially gets welcomed in.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah. Corner Mike Hughes is heading back to the Falcons on a 3-year, $18 million deal. He started 15 games for Atlanta last season. The Falcons are expected to sign Leonard Floyd.
That'd be a good move.
Former Chiefs safety Justin Reed has reached an agreement with the Saints on a 3-year,
Oh.
$31.5 million deal, including $22.25 million guaranteed.
And there goes another piece of that Chiefs secondary. Gone. Out the door. Boom.
Justin Reed will now be paired with Tyrann Mathieu.
Oof. Good luck.
Former All-Pro punter Johnny Hecker agreed today on a fully guaranteed 1-year contract with the Tennessee Titans. Jacoby Brissett plans to sign with the Cardinals.
Also, God forbid if Kyler Murray decides to not have a good year, they can just factory reset their quarterback settings and they can just plug in Brissett, just boom, go in.
By the way, Hardy's beat Fraxium and retained the TNA tag team titles.
Nice.
The Panthers have agreed terms today with former Buffalo punter Sam Martin.
Well, hopefully for Panthers fans' sakes, not including me, uh, I think that as long as the Panthers, get the right players, and Sam Martin's a hell of a punter himself, and nobody really talks about these special teams players because everybody just doesn't really think highly of them. But special team players are very important to a team's success. I mean, when you have a punter who can able to pin the ball inside the 1 or the 2, it makes the opposing drive even more difficult because they're having to go up from out of the shadows of their end zone. And if you have a great punter, who can, perfectly place the ball, they can make life difficult for the opposing team. Carolina making some pretty good moves now.
Yep. Yeah, they're trying to build something, and I give them all the credit in the world for it, too. I give them credit for spending the money, looking for great, talented players. Look, are they obviously light years from doing anything spectacular? Yes. But they're making the right moves and building towards a positive future. So, by the way, Mickey James is on NXT right now talking to Jada Parker.
Nice.
Okay, here we go.
LFG's been great.
Yes. Yeah, if you guys haven't got a chance to watch it, please watch LFG. Great show, A&E. Running back Ty Johnson is returning to the Bills on a 2-year deal.
Interesting.
And of course, the news that we broke, DeAndre Hopkins reached agreement on a 1-year deal that could be up to $6 million with Baltimore. We said that. Here's a funny named player. Free agent safety Xavier Woods agreed today on a 2-year, $10 million deal with the Tennessee Titans. By the way, do not confuse that with your boy Xavier Woods, part of the New Day. And to
somebody should come to the Titans games with that big ass trombone just brum, brum, brum.
bum, bum, bum.
Brum.
Keep it tight, everybody. And no, that's not what they told the woman that slept with 1,000 people in one night.
Heyo.
By the way, also to final two news notes to close out the football world, anyways. Free agent linebacker Devin, or no, here we go. Brian Anger agreed on a 2-year deal with the Cowboys. Wonder if he's a cousin to Angry Anderson of Rose Tattoo. And by the way, there's probably like 2 of you will get that reference.
Yes.
Free agent linebacker Devin Bush.
Maybe he's the stepson to Saint Anger.
What is it? When he hits people, it sounds like a trash can. Just like when Lars hits that stare. It doesn't sound like a fucking garbage can. Shut the fuck up, you idiots. Free agent linebacker Devin Bush agreed on a 1-year, $3.2 million deal to return to the Cleveland Browns. And then and we're gonna end this unfortunately with some sad news to report, and that is that Bucks, former Milwaukee Bucks owner and legend, Junior Bridgman has passed away.
Mm.
He was a 10% majority owner, 10% owner of the Milwaukee Bucks. He has some relations to the Cleveland Browns. A few other things. I'm not too familiar with his work, but it's a very big loss apparently in the world of the Bucks and in the world of baseball or basketball too. Oh, he purchased a 10% stake in the Bucks. He was a superstar billionaire businessman, and he was a legendary figure in Louisville basketball.
Mm.
So definitely want to send our condolences to the family, friends, and fans of Junior Bridgman at this time.
I would imagine that the next Louisville Cardinals game we're going to be paying tribute to him, and rightly so.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't see why not, you know. And you know what? That pretty much covers the NFL. Can't believe I got all that in. Holy shit.
I know.
Got all that in about 55. I got that all in about an hour.
Pretty much. The one thing that I've always, thought about heading into this off season is the one thing that we keep circling around is where will Aaron Rodgers play? Will he go to the Vikings? Will he go to the Steelers? Where will Russell Wilson end up? Because Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers' destinations right now are unknown as we speak. We have no clue where these two quarterbacks are going to end up. And it's going to be very, very interesting to see where these two respective quarterbacks end up, because it wouldn't surprise me if Wilson stays with Pittsburgh for a couple more years, or if he decides to leave and go elsewhere, and then Rodgers takes the helm at Pittsburgh.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see where both men go. I mean, I could see the big story is possibly Rodgers going to the Steelers. Maybe that leaves the door for Russell to go to the Vikings. I don't know. Unless people say that he follows the quote unquote, what's that called? The quote unquote Brett Favre tale, which a lot of people are saying his final destination would be the Vikings as what Brett Favre would have done.
Yep.
Personally, I don't know if that's even the case. I don't think everything people think that stuff falls into place like that. I disagree. It's up. No, that's if it does, it would happen by happenstance and circumstance. It's nothing. Nothing more than that, just playing out the way it plays out. So we'll see. I don't know where else I don't know where they'll go, but wherever they go, I don't know how happy the fans are going to be, especially with Aaron being, older, not being in not being in the best of health, obviously coming back from that torn Achilles and not put in all that stuff, and we'll see. It's all a wait and see game right now on
And
where he
come
goes.
December, Rodgers is going to be 42 years old. So that's another year old for Rodgers. And to think that last year he had a full year with the Jets, and everybody in the mainstream media was touting the Jets as to be this superior team, that they were going to make a run at the Super Bowl, that they were going to make a run at Kansas City's dynasty. And everybody was hailing Rodgers as the guy who's going to lead this Jets team from dormant to Super Bowl contending heavyweights. And that didn't even happen. And that was, on how bad the offensive line for the Jets is. And no matter where Rodgers goes, he goes to the Vikings, he goes to the Steelers. I think those are the final two destinations that he'll be picking from. But no matter what happens, I truly think that if I'm a betting man, honestly, I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to end up a Pittsburgh Steeler. I really believe he's going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Like you said, these quote unquote things that happen that are coincidence or it's ironic. No, it just happens. It's not coincidence. It's not, well, it kind of is coincidence, but as far as like, oh, that was meant to happen. No, it just happened because not every team can offer the same money that you're willing to take. Either you take more or you take less. It's simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously that we're going to be on watch for that, and if anything develops, we'll talk about it next week. Obviously, next week's going to be a busy week. Obviously, right now we're looking at next week, of course, doing our top 5 NFL games from last season, which makes sense now that the new season has begun. We might as well go ahead and talk about it next week. Also, too, since we're going to do that, we're going to push back a week our top 5 starting players on offense and defense if they were WWE superstars. Or not WWE superstars, if they were professional wrestlers. We're going to do that that week after. So keep an eye on our social medias for updates as we get closer to that, and we'll get you guys caught up on that. Real quick before we go, wanted to remind everybody that NCAA March Madness will officially begin with Selection Sunday on March 16th as 68 teams will play for the 2025 NCAA Tournament for men's basketball. The first 4 will be March 18th and the 19th, and the first round will be the March 20th and the 21st. So check your local listings for all the games in your market are available on those networks, including everything from ESPN and ABC and NBC, the CBS, True TV, True TV. Check all your
And also on the radio outlets, if you want to listen to the commentary on the radio side, Westwood One Sports does that too.
Yeah, check also ESPN. I'm sure they have a college basketball stations where you can listen to as well, depending on your package that you have. So definitely go to SiriusXM.com or go to the SiriusXM app for more information. That's pretty much it. Do you have anything else you want to discuss?
I think I am good right now, my man.
All right. Oh, damn it. Hang on. Sorry, I clicked out my window for a second. All right, I'm back. Steven, your final thoughts tonight, brother.
Great show with you, my man. Us, the dynamic duo tonight. Doing this together. Had a lot of fun. Having a blast so far here on the road again. Made it to West Virginia last night in Charleston, and then today made it over to Louisville, Kentucky. Staying here today and tomorrow in Kentucky. Tomorrow is the Disturbed concert at the KFC Yum Center with opening act Seven Dust and 3 Days Grace, as Disturbed will celebrate 25 years of their debut album, The Sickness. Looking forward to that tomorrow night. It is going to be an epic night of rocking and rolling. And with that being said, you can follow us on Twitter or X at Owen_Sports Show, Facebook.com/ our Nation Sports Show, where we are live on most Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific at youtube.com/Nation Sports Show. Be to like, share, and smash that like and subscribe button to all of your family and your friends, and share these videos. Share our content with your family, your friends that love the world of sports just as much as we do. And we are looking forward to coming back next week as we continue not only our coverage of the NFL offseason madness, we also begin our coverage of March Madness and the NCAA tournament, and also our top 5 games of the 2024-25 NFL season. And with that being, and also don't forget, follow the Nation's Corner on Twitter at Nation's Corner, Facebook.com/Nation's Corner, Instagram/Nation's Corner, and where they are live on YouTube.com on most Saturday nights, unless a pay-per-view is permitting that. YouTube.com/The Nation's Corner, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific. Be sure to join the guys and the gal as they recap all things professional wrestling. RASSLAN, that's wrestling. Gone to wrestling. And speaking of gone, we're out of here. And with that being said, Ezra, wrap this up, my friend.
Will do, Steven. Thank you guys so much for an awesome show. You, Steven, thank you so much. Everybody who's watching this video live or watching it on demand, we appreciate your help. Don't forget to don't forget to follow myself on Twitter at Deadman469. Don't forget to follow Joey Thornton at RollTide_1992, correct?
Roll_Tide 1992. Also,
Yep.
Kevin Rory is at That Niner Game 10.
All right, thank you. And don't forget to follow us there. I'm also on other different platforms as well. Don't forget to follow Too Sweet Cosplay. Of course, like I said, McCormick Place C2E2 weekend. Our panel, room S41D, Sunday, April 13th, from 3 to 3:45 p.m. That is, of course, Central Time. So if you're going to be out of town, check your time zones on that for that as well. And we'll have more announcements to come. I'm sure of it. So keep an eye on our social medias for more information. And with that being said, for my boy Stephen Wyand, and for Joey Thornton, Kevin Rory, Randy Gyron, and everybody in the Sports Show Nation, I am Ezra Vickery, and we will see you right here next week for another great edition of our Nation Sports Show. Take care, everybody. Have a great week, and we will see you next Tuesday. Same time, same YouTube channel. Peace out and enjoy the wonderful week of pro wrestling and the wonderful week of sports. Have a great night.
Turn me up.